Welcome to Voices for Justice with Danielle. On January 19th, protesters noticed a sketchy exchange between JP and Officer Schenck. Luckily, I received the documents from a FOIA request. Let's take a look. Keeping check. Church appears to be sparsely attended. This was at 9:50 a.m. Church appears to be sparsely attended. I only observed about 10 to 15 vehicles in the parking lot. There are approximately 12 protesters. The protesters have signs, but I did not detect any microphones or loud music. The protesters are on the south side of Pompous. At the time I drove by, I observed protesters who appeared concerned about the presence of an unidentified white male from a distance. Oh, thank you. From a distance, I observed the unidentified white male cross the street to the church. The protesters are visibly upset about his presence, but I did not observe a crime. So that's one of the incident reports. Let me move over to the other one. This one was at 10:03 a.m. Caller has a permit to protest, and one of the church members walked over to their side and was filming their license plates to try and intimidate them. Nothing physical happened. Suspect white male wearing green shirt and gray pants. Suspect went back inside the church. Now, meet complainant across the street from the church. Two complainants, and then the rest is redacted, advised a currently unidentified white male subject, redacted, crossed the street from where he was presumed to be a parishioner of Solid Rock Church and was attempting to take photographs of the parked vehicles with his cell phone within event, and then it gave the event ID number of another report. I observed the subject cross Pompous Drive and go back to the church. The complainants advised the subject did not make verbal threats. At no time was there any physical contact between the subject and complainants. Further analysis determined that the subject never touched anyone's vehicle nor removed aluminum foil from their license plates. Both complainants advised feeling threatened by the subject's presence. Based on the totality of evidence, consisting of my own observations, the complainant's statements, and video footage, I determined that the threshold of criminality has not been met or exceeded. The complainants were provided with both this event number and the event number from the previous keep check. Both of those, by the way, were completed by Officer Michael Schenck. And then this very last incident report is from 11:14 a.m., also completed by Officer Schenck. Redacted. Advised having a domestic issue in her home of Richmond, Virginia. Oops. Okay. Hey, Steph. So redacted, I'm just reading the incident reports from that day. I'm on the last one right now while I'm giving people time to come in before showing the actual dash cam footage. So redacted, stop backing. Redacted advised having a domestic issue in her home of Richmond, Virginia, with 4 kids in her Ford bearing Virginia tag, redacted. She drove to Myrtle Beach despite having absolutely zero contacts or resources. She does have documentation from September indicating she is a domestic violence victim. I spoke with the point of contact at the family shelter who recommended calling tomorrow. The Family Justice Center also does not have room for the subject with her 4 children. However, they advised she could also call back tomorrow at redacted. The subject was provided numbers to all relevant social services. Through impromptu fundraising, it was possible to generate a donation of $150. This will give her and her children food and shelter for the immediate future. $100 of the $150 came from the protesters. The remaining $50 was provided by Pastor Redacted.
Put this camera on right now just to constantly record due to the circumstances.
268. And that's my location for 96 elderly female.
Fuck!
Copy.
Hey, I'm blessed. How are you, sir?
Good, we had a good day. Good day.
Hey, that's good to hear.
Is it illegal for me to just ride through there so I can get license plates?
What's that?
Is it illegal for me to drive through there so I can get license plates? Because they're posting all of our license plates online, but I need them in order to do the restraining order. That's why I can tell who they are.
I just had this lengthy... I was just out here half an hour with them, and that's... the guy who came over there, they were trying to get harassment on him, and I'm like, it is not a crime in a public place to take pictures of a license plate. I don't recommend stirring the pot.
No, not at all. I just want to just drive through and just get what I can. Yeah. You know, is it illegal to cover up your license plate with tinfoil?
It's illegal to drive it. You can't operate the vehicle that way. You can cover it that way, and that's why they do it, and they are covered, by the way, and that's why they have them up.
A Walmart that's being flagged down by somebody?
Pretty much. You're not going to... I did inform them that, hey, you...
378, you're being flagged down at Walmart?
I said, help me get my hands around this. You're in a public place online, and you're concerned about them getting your identity. I was like, I can't... I'm struggling intellectually with that part of it.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
And then we also just had somebody... I'm working on some other stuff, too.
For us or for them?
Somebody literally just ran out of gas here from Richmond, Virginia, has 4 kids, no resources, no nothing whatsoever, so I'm working that right now.
Where are they at? Are they around here? Nearby?
Yeah.
I can give them a check. Money? I got some money on me. What family is
It's the, she just left. I have her number, though, but... From Richmond, Virginia.
What's your number? I'll call.
Call her.
Okay. Know you got somebody that can give her $50.
That is so kind. Let me see.
You can just give it to them so I'm not even here.
Hello.
Officer Mike Schenck, Myrtle Beach Police. The pastor of that church just came out and wanted me to give you $50. Can you meet me in the same place where I just was?
Oh, yeah, sure. Thank you so much. I'll be right down at the gas
God
station.
bless you.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
I don't know, because I don't know that he would sound so like frustrated and go and then right before JP comes up say the F word that loudly.
That's the part I was like, oh my gosh, too, because that tells you how over him some of them must be to be like, oh, I can't deal with him. Oh God, here we go. I love that part.
Yeah, that was the first thing I heard, and I had like just heard that right when you were calling me back, and I was like so excited. Just that he sounded that aggravated when he said the F word. Yeah. Do you guys want me to plug this into my video editor so that the closed captions come up? So we can see exactly what was said? I'll do that now. What's that? Can I drive through there so I can get license plates? They're posting all of our license plates. I need them in order to do the restraining order. And then the cop said, I was just out here half an hour with them. And that's the guy who came over there. They were trying to get harassment on him. And I'm like, it is not a crime in a public place to take pictures of license plates. And then he said, I don't recommend stirring the pot. Then JP said, no, not at all. I just want to just grab through and just get what I can. Is it illegal to cover up your license plates with aluminum foil? It's illegal to drive. You can't operate the vehicle that way. You can cover it that way, and that's why they do it. And they are covered, by the way, and that's why they haven't. All right. I didn't, there's something, no. I said, help me get my hands around this. You're in a public place online and you're concerned about them getting your identity. I was like, I can't. I'm struggling intellectually with that part of it. Yeah, but yeah. And then we also just had somebody, yeah, I'm working on some other stuff. Well, because they were talking about the protester who came across the street that he just had the lengthy conversation with the protesters about, saying he didn't do anything illegal because he can walk through a public place and take pictures. There's nothing illegal about that. So he is talking about the protesters. He's saying he doesn't understand their reasoning because they're going online in a public place. Oh, probably the streaming, and are also saying that you're concerned about people getting your identities. And if you're going to be streaming like that, how are you going to be concerned with people getting your identities? I think that's what he's saying. But also, I mean, he's perfectly comfortable giving out somebody's name and number and violating their confidentiality. There'd be conversation when he hands him cash, but there is. You know, I mean, he says to him, you know, I think I got cash on me, $50, and then he gives it to him. The officer's calling the woman, and then you see, like, because on the dash cam, all you can see is like the end of JP's bumper, and then as he's like making the call, you see JP drive away. What does this have to do with the case? So there was concern that, you know, he was giving a bribe or something, doing something sketchy with the officer. Melissa, was it $120 or $100 that you gave Schenck for the woman? Kelly Ann said, I gave the woman $100, and then it was given directly to the woman. Let's for info. So did you just verbally tell the officer you just did that? Sorry, can one of you who was there, who knows what was oh, looks like I got it. Oh, that's somebody I don't know. If one of you who I know sends a request, I will accept it. But if Melissa, Kelly, somebody who was there who knows, and we can keep your screen off just to like help clarify, because there's a lot of comments coming in and I don't know if I'm like missing any, but how would he have known that protesters gave $100 if he wasn't the in-between? That's what I don't understand. Okay.
Okay, so I was not there for the whole thing, so I had to go back to work that day. Kelly directly talked about wrong. You gave this woman $100 cash. the officer was still there, correct? He was still there at that moment when you guys gave her money, correct?
Yeah, Market Common Mom is saying that she could have told the cop if he went there to give her the $50 afterwards. She could have mentioned to him, "Oh yeah, the protesters just came and gave me $100."
Hold on, y'all. I have to take my case off. This is why I don't do lives, because y'all can never hear me. So yeah, he was still there when the money was given to her. And then, to my knowledge, the woman left. Kelly gave her $100. Sandra cash apped her $20. And then a few minutes later is when John Paul pulled up to the truck. And I guess that conversation was had. Here's my question, though. First of all, an officer is not permitted to take money, even if it is to give to somebody else. And in the statement, he said, "Can you meet me where I was just at?" So where you just saw me at would be HGTC.
Unless he saw her closer to the gas station, though, because
He
that's
didn't, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, he didn't leave. He didn't leave after his conversation with us. He didn't leave and then come back. He drove to the area where he was parked, which is right across the street from HGCC in front of the Red Cross. So he did not leave and see her anywhere. He saw her at HGTC across from the college. It's the only place he was before leaving for the day.
That is weird then. Unless he told JP where she was and he went to go there to give her the $50. No, because we saw him hand him something.
And with that, I'm going to hop down so I don't incriminate myself.
All right. Thank you so much.
Bye.
That makes it kind of confusing. Stephanie, did you make sense of it? And I'm just not understanding something. That's a great question, Kristen. Can I? So we just listened to the dash cam footage of January 19th when the young man, had been going over and trying to get footage of people's license plates. And then JP went over and there was a sketchy looking exchange. In that video, as JP was approaching in his truck, you had the officer go, and then he ends up like kind of yelling the F word. And then they're chatting. JP asks the officer if it's okay for him to drive through there so that he can get pictures of the protesters' license plates because he needs those in order to get restraining orders against them. And the officer kind of explained to him, like, I wouldn't want to stir the pot, but, you can take pictures in public, like that's okay. And then he says, I just had a lengthy conversation with the protesters about it. Because anybody can take pictures in public spaces. Then he laughs with JP, saying that he just can't wrap his hands around it. He might have said he might have meant can't wrap my mind around it. But he was like, you're protesting in public online, and then you're saying you don't want anyone to find out your identity. That's not intellectually like making sense or something like that for me. And then he volunteers up to JP that he's working on something right now. JP inquires further, what is it that you're working on? And then the officer tells him that a woman from Virginia, who was a victim of domestic violence, left with her 4 kids, drove down here to Myrtle Beach, no resources, no money, no connections, nothing, and ran out of gas. And so he was trying to look into what they could do for her. JP offered to give money, and then the officer sounded like, because it went muted for a bit. It was like a little bit of a siren and then muted. Sounds like he was giving him her name and number. And then JP drove off as the officer was calling him to tell him, or calling the woman to tell her, to asking her to meet him where she had just seen him, which would have been outside of HGTC. Right. Because she and her 4 kids, the like 1 or 2 shelters they reached out to couldn't take her and her 4 kids. Yeah. JP only knew about her because when the cop was like, yeah, well, I'm working on something right now. And JP's like, oh, well, what's that? And then the cop told him. I'd be so mad if I, told a police officer, hey, like, I'm really struggling. I really need some help. And then I gave him my name and my number. I would be so upset if I just escaped a DV situation and then the cop shared my background with a DV perpetrator and gave him my name and gave my cell phone number. I'd be rip shit. Maybe, but even if that's true, Melissa, it kind of shows how good a people you guys are. Right, okay, I see that. But the thing is that JP also let it be known, hey, I need to get their license plates because I need to find out their identity so I can get restraining orders against them. So he was like even saying to the cop, yeah, I'm trying to illegally run plates, get plates ran. But even still, it's even if it is a plant, even if it was all like staged and, pre-planned, that cop, well, nothing ever happens to cops, but in a hypothetical that, I don't know, cops' behaviors actually mattered, I would say he kind of screwed himself because he was too buddy-buddy. He was too, laughing and, sharing his insights and thoughts and discussing conversations he had with the protesters. I don't know. I feel like that's inappropriate. Thank you so much for joining. I am going to try to get all this into a video, get it, download this from TT and get it uploaded to YouTube.
Hey, sorry, I was eating dinner. Did y'all holler at me or something?
Well, yeah, I was just saying, asking if some of it made sense to you. When Melissa had come on and was kind of explaining the series of events that occurred. I can't remember if you were around that time, but yeah, I was asking if any of that made sense to you, how you were interpreting that.
How Melissa, the paralegal Melissa?
No,
Or must be.
Melissa the protester, because she had come up and she had said like what her experience was that day.
Oh. Yeah. Sorry, no, I was eating dinner with my husband. I had to walk away.
So because what she had said was that, and I'm really hoping I repeat this well, Melissa. If I don't, please do the request again to come back on. But that when JP hadn't even gone over to the cop yet, when Melissa went to go to the gas station, gave the woman $100 in cash, and Sandra Venmoed her $20, and then they left. The cop, I guess, didn't leave after JP had driven away, so they don't even know how he would have gotten that $50. I mean, or how she would have gotten that $50. Okay, thank you, Melissa, because I know I'm not describing it right.
Okay, no. She didn't go to a gas station and give her any money. She came to the protest and talked to protesters while they were actively protesting. At HGCC, she was handed $100 cash and then cashed at $20. After the cop was done talking to us, he drove his vehicle over to the area that's right next to HGTC, which is where you see him parked, which is how we have him on film, in front of Red Cross, parked it. That's where JP pulled up to him. He never left until after speaking with JP. So therefore, him saying on the phone call, "Can you meet me where you just saw me at?" That can only be HGTC, because that's where he was. He didn't leave until after he had his interaction with JP. So, and he had the interaction with JP, and then he physically left HGTC and left, and nobody could see him anymore. So how does that correlate with, "Can you meet me where you just saw me?"
Right. And there's no record, and that's where he encountered her for the first time, was at the protest. He didn't see her at nowhere before. So it literally was right. So does anybody have this woman's information to follow up to see if he actually gave her the $50?
We have our Cash App, so we've been able to find her social media, but we're not releasing that.
No,
But
I would just send her a message and say, did you actually get that $50 from that day? Just to see what she says.
let's see, here's the thing. I don't even trust doing that, because somebody also allegedly saw her walking the bald-headed girl's dog later that day. And the bald-headed girl lives in Market Commons and was at court with JP for my restraining order hearing with a petition from her neighbors.
You know, a couple of comments I noted along the way here. Do you think that was a set up per se, allegedly by JP, to make himself look good?
I think, allegedly, in my opinion, and all of the words that keep me from getting sued, that she was sent to see if we would actually help a victim, because in my legal paperwork, it states that I do nothing to help victims of DV.
Yeah.
So that's what I think.
Melissa, it would be really funny if you started off statements with "once upon a time."
I should probably.
Because then it sounds like you're just telling a story, right?
I just throw all the allegedlys and in my opinions in there. Of course, you know. But yeah, that's what happened. I'm going to hop back down, y'all.
Okay. Thank you for saving me from butchering your story.
No worries.
All right. But yeah, one of the things that people were talking about was that, you know, they thought it might have been they thought it was staged to make it himself look good. But if anything, I feel like the cop really made himself look bad by telling him that woman's story, her name, her number, and then trying to paint this picture like, oh, well, I'm not an abuser. I help abused women. Never trust. Yeah, I have to say, I probably think it's a setup now more than I did before. But yeah, I'm probably gonna end the live. But no, I'm gonna probably end this so that I can download the live video and then upload it to YT. They can't even get us up. I know, right? You'd think that they'd be better at it. What's that? Do me a favor, Jackson's Gigi. Make sure he knows that. That would actually, you know what? I'm gonna stop right there. Please, let's make sure he knows that. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. You have no idea. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you all. Be safe. Have a wonderful night. And if I go live again later or, oh, woohoo! 50,000 likes. Well, 50,700. Wow. Thank you guys. You guys are so awesome. I hope to see you later tonight, either if I do a live again, because, why not? I think I've already done it, 5 or 6 times today? I'm not sure. Or on somebody else's live. Bye. Thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.